All right, we are back, 2025 iCast. What's really special to me about this year over last year, you know what, just roll the clip of last year, and then I want to show you how we're different this year. Even just at an iCast level, we were tucked up the back corner. We had a small little dinky booth, and we just launched the new brand of Lake Fort, but we didn't have new products. At the time, we didn't even own the company. We were a partner of it. We'd made an investment in the company, but we didn't control a lot of elements around it. And so what we're doing this year, it's our first chance to kind of say we're here, and it's now a portfolio company of Kalara. We've really stepped it up, much bigger booth, much more premium placement. And we've also integrated some of our other brands, including fish sticks, and then we've got the Game Guard booths, and we have launched a whole new range of apparel. We're launching 7 new Signature Series baits. We're launching a new sunglass collection. We acquired a rod company in January, and so we're releasing 2 new lines of rods. One of the big changes we've made across the business in the last few years is our packaging. Before we kind of rebranded the business, it was a brand that's been around for 28 years, but the packaging was a little bit tired. And so we've given it a whole new look and feel to showcase, the products in a much more fresh way that really kind of catches the attention of the consumer when they're walking down the aisles of the shelves. So one of the things that we did when we took over the brand was, our mission was to try and get it back to its roots of innovation. And so when we started that process, the previous owners had committed to designing 2 new baits per year, whereas we had a long lineup of products we wanted to develop. And so when we hit the ground running, within the first 8 weeks, we had designed 8 new baits. And then we've also brought new technology to streamline the process on how we do that. So rather than going through a traditional process of doing your CNC machining with the aluminum molds to design a new product, we introduced 3D printers into the mix, allowed us to cut down the production time for testing and designing molds. That's been a huge thing for us, and it's allowed us to kind of move much, much faster. What these new baits allow us to do is really help us get back to our core of innovation. And you'll see that in some of the new designs of the products we've got coming out. They really do catch fish. Like, we have been testing this on the Major League Fishing Tour for the past 12 months, and we're releasing them here at iCast this year. So we've got 7 new lineups of baits, everything from forward-looking sonar baits. We've got some of the brush hogs, we've got speed worms, a bunch of new stuff. The other thing we worked really hard on is rolling out a really premium line of apparel. So we've got sun shirts, we've got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got hoodies. We're working with some of the best manufacturers in this entire industry, and so we're really proud with the products that have come out. It's been received really well in market, and we're excited to start really pumping this into retail. We've been wanting to release a sunglass for a while, and so we spent the last 6 months in R&D. And really the 2 market leaders in the space have been Costa and Smith, widely known as a very high quality product. The thing is, they're expensive. And so we spent a lot of time on R&D, getting the sunglasses right. We, working with factories across, different parts of the world, including France, on the lenses, and really getting that design, look and feel dialed in. And so what we now have is a much better quality than a Costa and a Smith glass. But instead of at a $280 price point, these are going to be hitting the retail shelves at a $160 price point. It helps us fulfill our mission as being kind of designed by the pros, having premium quality products, but accessible to everyone. And so we're really proud of that. It'll hit shelves on September 15th.
Bait and lemonade.
So Jeff Sprague, who's one of our pro fishermen, he's on our pro staff. He designed a rod company and spent 2 years on the MLF trying and testing and prototyping a rod that would really work with him on tour, but we could get it to a price point that's kind of affordable for the consumer. And so we bought that rod company in January and have rolled it in. It's now Lake Fork Lures. And so we've got 2 tiers of rods now. We've got a silver series and a gold series. They step up in quality and price point as you go through. So it's more premium components on the gold line, and the silver line is still a high quality product, but it's designed for a mass market audience. And so we anticipate being able to sell kind of 5 silver rods to every gold rod that we sell. We also bought another fishing rod company called Fish Sticks. These guys have been selling all across the country. It's a really high quality product, and they built a good reputation for the brand, but it looked a bit tired. And so we gave it a full brand refresh this year. And if we think about our product lines, we've now got a silver, gold, and kind of your platinum level. And so we'll call it a good, better, best. And so your silver series is now going to be your good, your gold is going to be your better, and then fish sticks become that kind of high-end, semi-custom rod. We've done a complete overhaul on these rods. We're really excited about it. We've also built in customization features for this. And so we've got a custom designer, so you can actually design your rods here. You can customize which handles you want, the eyelets, the colors. You can match it to your boat. You can do corporate deals. There's something we're rolling out that's brand new for this show. And so it's been a huge amount of work for the team. Incredibly proud of the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that's gone into this big launch over the last 6 months. It's all culminating here, and we've really stepped it up this year. It's been a massive investment on our behalf, but now we're getting ready to really scale this into retail. Because we're doing a big roll-up of outdoor brands, people see us as private equity, and we've got a big, I want to say a war we're about to call against private equity, but we're not trying to be that typical strip, rip, and flip playbook that most private equity guys take. In my perspective, a lot of them are just kind of finance bros sitting around with their Patagonia vest, thinking that they can just financially engineer success in a spreadsheet, but they've never really run a business. And so our playbook is very different. When we buy a brand, we don't just want them to be a 3-year pump and dump. We're changing the trajectory of the brand, and we're investing behind building the brand. It's not just about how do we rip out the guts and offshore to China and just becomes a sales and distribution play like what many, many private equity companies in this industry have done. So we're running a very different playbook. So with that, it allows us to kind of come back to our roots as Kalara with that kind of content-driven commerce model. And so when we talk about building brands, all of the retailers want to understand, well, what are you going to do to drive in-store traffic and to help drive that sell-through? Our play is to not just go and spend millions of dollars on ads and traditional media placements like what 95% of this room does. When we say content-driven commerce, we want to team up with the influencers and the content creators that are actually going to move the needle in terms of help driving that brand level and that drive that demand for the product. And then we can then become that commercialization engine of the products that then can sell that product into retail, whether it's independents, big box, distributors, through our licensing channels or direct to consumer. But we use those content creators to help us drive the demand for it. And there's nothing new about content-driven commerce, but in this industry, it feels like it's a wake-up call. So we've had a chance to walk around the floor of this place, and one of the things that I guess is the most exciting thing for me is the opportunity. So there's tons and tons and tons of brands doing all the same things, and a lot of Me Too kind of legacy players. But in little pockets, I see pockets of potential where there's brands that are either legacy that we know we could put some media horsepower behind them, or there's some really innovative younger companies that are starting to really kick some goals, and they're the kind of guys that we want to really get behind. We've been looking around the show, we've been launching our new products. It's kind of some ways a coming out party for Kalara outdoors as a whole, because this is the first time we've had multiple booths where we're showcasing all of our products at scale. It's a super exciting time for us. It's been very, very well received by retailers. We've got some digital media stuff. We've got some massive brand partnerships, which we're about to announce. And so this has allowed us to kind of lean into the momentum that we're building as a brand. And yeah, we'll see what the future holds.